Hey friends and family, hopefully all of you are having a fantastic holiday season. In the end of the year, it's always a great time to talk about what happened throughout the year. A pretty great time to do some list videos. And I want to talk about a little list that I kind of curated here for the best free-to-play games. Just simply, humbly, objectively, in my opinion, the best free-to-play that came out in 2019. Now, I'm trying to do games that either just hit their stride, really promoted themselves this year, or really were wholly developed and launched within this past year. Of course, there's going to be a little bit of give and take, but these are games that I spent probably the most amount of time in, period, but especially in terms of just free games, these are the ones that I put my heart into, and I feel like I can tell that the developers have put their heart into the game. So I definitely vouch for these 5 titles. Now, I could have done a top 10 with honorable mentions. I played dozens of games, but I really wanted to distill it down and use 5 so I could go a little bit deeper into the games and kind of have a dialogue with you guys. Well, obviously a longer rant, but you know, in the comments we can chat it up if these games are really worth your time. And that's really what I want to get across is I had very memorable experiences with these games, and hopefully you did too. And if not, definitely you should be checking them out. These are, in my opinion, the best free-to-play games of 2019. Footstep sounds. Bazing! Are you kidding me? No scope? Oh my god! What the heck? Why is this game so good? Okay guys, starting out the list here and going from a range of the least played to most played, I have Krunker.io. I kind of got into this somewhat recently. I'm also aware that Krunker's been around for just a little bit, but this is the year where it's like, man, a lot of YouTubers sunk their teeth into it, and of course, I jumped in as well. You guys suggested in so many of my .io videos, yo bro, play Krunker.io, Krunker's Krunk, yo, and I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. And here I am now saying, it's my number 5 most played free-to-play game of 2019. This is a boots-on-the-ground FPS, very relatable to Counter-Strike clones and Call of Duty clones, and I say clones specifically because it just kind of appears that way and has those humble beginnings of a smaller indie, you know, .io or browser FPS game. But in the end, it actually really can properly compete with Call of Duty, with games like Ironsight or AAA funded AAA games, Paladins, Counter-Strike even. Because like the netcode and the gun feel, the gun play, the overall competitiveness or the polish of the actual gameplay is pretty seriously sincere, even considering the browser portion, though you can download the game. Of course, though, it's not a full esport title, surely not, but it has created and cultured this very unique community of creativity where you have these custom maps and custom mods and things like that, and players just having a good old silly time. But then also, like, it's just at its core a pretty freaking solid shooter, especially considering IO games. But even then, I don't want to just compare it to like, oh, it's a good browser game. No, this is a freaking good free-to-play game in general. And just because it's an IO game, it doesn't mean it's just meant for kids. This is a serious game, and you seriously need to get over your biases. I know I had to. You guys helped me, and you need to give it a freaking shot.
Car here in front of the road, Skylent.
Say why in front of it?
Right in front of us.
Sadly beside us, to the left. It's all sorts of fucky.
Meds real fast. Give me a moment. One to the left is on the mountain.
Oh shit! Get the fuck out! Now, number 4 on my list, I've got Ring of Elysium. Now, the name was really strange. I don't know. This game also, at first glance, seemed to be kind of a PUBG clone, but in the snow. When I got into the game, I was pleasantly surprised by the fact that it kind of was a clone, actually, but a really, really good clone. Debatably better. And of course it adds or layers on new mechanics such as the transportation options or modes like the snowboarding, the climbing. I really loved the map design, and just the general balance of the game felt just better than PUBG, or at least more in line with what I wanted out of that style of game. I didn't know that Battle Royales weren't yet oversaturated or flooded. I didn't know there was so much nuance to the gameplay, and I bet a lot of you guys are like that as well. You're like, okay, well, you got your PUBG, you got your Fortnite, maybe we could throw in some Apex, and then, you know, we call it a day. But actually, there's so many BRs coming out that are doing so many radical different things, and yeah, at the same time, we're all having fun with most of those games, and even still, we do have these kind of cloney or similar games that are still pretty popular, that are actually competitive, that have tournaments, and that are genuinely fun. there's a lot of nuance in this genre that is yet to be really developed. I can't wait to play more of this game and coming next year, as well as all these other new BR games such as Spellbreak, right? So, but Ring of Elysium is kind of PUBG in the snow, basically to an extent. It was a really fun game to play streamed. I'm so glad you guys joined me for that, and hopefully in the future you join me for new endeavors going into these games and sharing those experiences. But now in finality, I do have to say that I do prefer this game to PUBG or any other similar style BR game. But also, it does seem that a lot of people play PUBG and PUBG Mobile, and more people are looking at just Fortnite or Apex or the more ridiculous and the ones that are more openly popular in the West and have that Western esports scene. Here on Steam, Ring of Elysium isn't carrying the weight that it is to the East. So even though I had my time with it, I'm sure a lot of you guys did, it was very popular for a time, it just still kind of fell from grace to an extent. So it has like 7,000 players playing for a 24-hour peak. Very interesting game that you should check it out, but don't think that it's going to be like, you know, the next esport game that's going to be big and popping on Twitch anytime soon. So kind of a little bit of fall from grace, but at the same time, I'm definitely very thankful for the time that I had with it. All right, yeah. Oh no, I'm healing. Okay, whew, I was able to just slowly walk away from that one. Oh yeah, taking it, baby girl. Okay, halfway on my list, I have Dauntless, which is a game that is undaunted, seemingly, by Monster Hunter's World's crushing popularity in the genre. And there's been a few other Monster Hunter-style games, especially on mobile. I love to promote Dragon Project, and a lot of you guys love Rangers of Oblivion, and there's actually a couple of JRPGs and ARPGs that are taking heavy inspiration from Monster Hunter and, you know, boss-in-a-box style games. I'm so excited. Oh my god, I love this kind of stuff, okay, from Dark Souls onward. Oh, but Dauntless was a game that I often put down, so maybe you weren't expecting to see that on this list. I put it down because I really promote uniquity over everything, and Monster Hunter is like the Monster Hunter game. Dauntless is self-admittedly a clone. That's how it originally started. It was supposed to be the free-to-play PC clone of Monster Hunter, but actually, moving on, if you get to the end game, even at launch, you could start to see a little bit of specialness with the sort of etherealness and the magical properties of the world, the weapons, you know, once you actually get used to them, as well as just truly the monster design, the boss encounters, the teleporting, the weird gimmicky gimmicks, you know, the hitting back lightning bolts back at the monsters, or just how the monsters can, you know, use these crazy magical abilities, gravity, spinning around. A lot of really strange stuff that you're not going to get in other Monster Hunter games. So I like that, but I want more of that. Even now, where the game has been updated and we're starting to see more and more of that sort of unique flavors that really make Dauntless what it is. And I like that they've just put it on PS4. They just now launched it on Switch, which if you guys want me to review that, sure, why not? I could try that. And I love that it's cross-progression and cross-play. Amazing. Fantastic stuff. That's exactly what we need from a game like this. And that is how you're going to fight Monster Hunter World as well, which doesn't quite have that feature set. So Dauntless is starting to carve itself, you know, its own place in this universe that is absolutely dominated by the monster that is Monster Hunter. So I had my time with it. I've always wanted more and more. And luckily it seems that in time we are slowly getting that. Holy, it's a battle royale. Holy, you try to punch this. One punch. I'm gonna kick the out of you. I'm gonna kick the out of you. Beat the. I'm going Mortal Kombat on that ass, baby. Number 2 on my list is Apex Legends. Just like many of you, this game came out of nowhere and blew everyone's faces off. Basically, this is from the Titanfall devs. They kind of know how to make a shooter, though I have some issues with Titanfall 1 and 2. A lot of people do, but Apex just hit a really sweet spot. Being a battle royale, being so chaotic, it kind of allowed the developers a little bit of wiggle room when it came to balance and the overall insanity of the game. It just kind of makes sense in this sort of genre. And Apex at the same time, while it is kind of bonkers if you compare it to PUBG, when you look at it compared to like Spellbreak or Fortnite especially, it actually hits a really sweet spot of like, yeah, this is kind of insane, but at the same time, it's sort of controlled chaos. And we have all these kind of extra abilities and things like that, but it's not this totally ridiculous, out of this world style of gameplay like you have with combining magic spells or the building mechanics and then the wackiness of those weapons in the Fortnite. You have just like, okay, we can slide, we can parkour, we can, you know, we have general abilities that we have actually seen directly inspired from other games, from Far Cry or Call of Duty perks, things like that. And the weapons aren't too ridiculous either, even though they are, you know, sci-fi or postmodern. It's like, dude, it's an FPS. We've played games like this, just we haven't played like this. So it's kind of hard to describe, but it was both familiar and something extraordinary at the exact same time. And it just hit that right formula of fuck yeah, and there we go, Apex Legends. Also, guys, look forward to the competitive scene for this game, really going to be blossoming. So not only was it one of the most played games ever for everyone and for me, but next year, probably going to do freaking great as well. Can't wait for the future seasons of Apex Legends. And if I had to define one reason why this game is just so great, I love that it's a soft hero shooter inside of a battle royale that is completely defined by its cooperative gameplay. Basically, Apex is just like, in my opinion, the best battle royale to play with a couple friends. Just hands down. He's got a AoE heal and damage. Plus then we get lifesteal, so we're gonna be a little bit tankier. Tank's front line's gonna be able to front line a little bit longer. And also it's gonna keep our squishies, you know, from dying just a little bit. Feels good. And my number one most played, in my opinion, the best free-to-play game of 2019 is Auto Chess. Yeah, Auto Chess kind of came from nowhere, and that's the beauty of it. And if you guys don't know, the history of Auto Chess basically spawns from Dota 2 custom games. Dota allows you to have these custom game modes that you can host, you can make these mods, you can create really entirely new games, which was the case, and then put them out onto the store, and people can just have a game browser and just join in and play. And Auto Chess was one that just abso-freaking-lutely blew right up. And there's a lot of them out there. There's a lot of really fantastic games you can play on Dota 2. And it's why I always put it in list videos as a great free-to-play game, those custom game modes, which is really full circle because Dota was a mod originally from Warcraft. But now we have Auto Chess, which was now kind of a mod of Dota. Auto Chess is this tactic-style deck-building battle royale thing. If I had to kind of explain it, it's poker mixed with Final Fantasy Tactics mixed with chess. Auto Chess, where the pieces are kind of, they do have an AI to an extent. They are kind of automatic. They kind of play for you. I don't know. It really, if you've never played this, then you don't know how it plays. It's a pretty wild experience, but it is all about luck and managing that luck, managing your randomness, your hand draws, and playing to that and against other players. But don't worry, there's a lot of features in here that actually make it very manageable, and better players do win more often. The matches do last a while, like 30 minutes probably isn't uncommon, at least 20 minutes. And you're gonna go through lots of rounds, kind of round robin fighting 1v1, everyone, you know, multiple times. And you're gonna go through lots of different hands, lots of different builds and different kind of strategies. And that's the true fun of the game. There is also no pay to win these style games. And yeah, I can promote Teamfight Tactics, I can promote Dota Underlords, but the original Auto Chess on mobile is the one that I've played the most, and the one that I'll probably continue to play the most as well. It's already competitive, and it's not, you know, there's no gambling mechanics whatsoever, which I detest and hate, and the reason I no longer cover CCG at all. So Auto Chess came out of nowhere, is a brand new genre instantaneously, and then at the same time is breaking conventions of the style of games entirely. You know, it's just like, hey, you know, you can make a pretty cool game without being shit, you know, looking at you, Hearthstone, and then even to an extent games I love, like Faria or Duelist, those tactical card games. Nah, we got Auto Chess. And we're probably gonna see more clones, and we're gonna see a higher production value and really an esport push coming from Underlords and Teamfight Tactics as well. Which one will be king? I don't know. I played all of them, but I just gotta say, and give my appreciation, you know, my love, I say, I really like Auto Chess. You guys should play it, and if not, I don't know, we're not friends anymore. I'm just kidding. But then, you know, check out its competitors. The whole genre, which has just begun, that's just started, is definitely something that you haven't seen before, and you should experience it. Please and thank you. I mean, that's the whole point of these videos, sharing these kind of weird games and talking about our nostalgia or our brand new experiences, and trying to push that off onto you guys so that you guys can, you know, fall down the rabbit hole like me. But that's my short list. Hopefully I said enough about these games to both describe and entice for them. I love Auto Chess, Apex Legends, Dauntless, Rings of Elysium, and Krunker.io. All of these games. And if I made a longer list, then I think it would go from love to like, enjoyed, had moments with them, etc. But no, these 5, absolutely you need to try. But of course, there's some games that I missed, I know for a fact. Please let me know about those in the comments below, and as always, keep the hype alive. Much love, guys. I'll see you in the next one.